United got other ideas. Martial! Oh, United aren't done yet. They want another. Mata. Inside the area. Across it comes. Pogba! Mayhem! Absolute mayhem at Old Trafford. 2 goals in a minute. United have turned it around. They're leading 2-1. Rooney takes it. Great strike. Now they're back in it, all right. Is this the prelude for another great Manchester United comeback? Valencia. Rooney. Still Rooney. Great chance. United just would not take no for an answer. Big appeal for handball. He's given it. Penalty. He's given it. It's Rooney. Wayne Rooney with a hat-trick. Dimitar Berbatov. Now Giggs drills it dangerously. It's in! This is the comeback that surely ends all comebacks.
What's happening, people, and welcome back to another episode of Fan Views. And today it's a special episode because we're talking about Manchester United. Now, I've done a few of these shows, Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, and I'm a United fan, and we ain't spoke about United yet. So I've wanted to do this, and I have to thank you two, man, for coming on. Can you please introduce yourself for everybody watching and listening? Let's start with Daniel, please.
Yo, man, what's good, people? Man's Daniel. I'm here, I'm 23. Love Man United. United slowly been getting better in recent times, so glad football's back, man.
Wicked. And Dan?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Daniel Hamilton. I'm the Academy Director of Player ID Academy, Football Academy in South London. Born a Manchester United fan, and yeah, we're happy. We're back. So yeah, very, very grateful to be on the show. Let's have some fun.
Wicked, man. I appreciate that, guys. And I'm Semps. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and also share about with your people, man. But yeah, man, obviously I don't even want to get into and talk about Merseyside and what's just happened there. This episode, we're going to focus on us because it's about Manchester United. So I think the first place I want to start is the top 4 race, because that's what it's about now. You know, it's that race for the top 4, getting Champions League football. So where do you see us going, man, Daniel?
It's one of them things. I think I've seen our fixtures for the rest of the season, and I'll be honest, we have to win them all now.
Yeah.
Chelsea winning last night. I know they've got a few other games. I think they've got Leicester, and I think they've got Liverpool as well. So
yeah.
Out of all the top 4 teams, I'd say we're in the most form. Leicester have slowly started to drop off a little bit, so I'm hoping we can capitalise on that. Plus, with Man City's Champions League ban, I don't know if it's gonna stand. Because 5th place could also be up to that for a Champions League spot. So we're in a good spot, man. We're in a good spot.
Do you think that we're gonna get? Do you think we'll make it then?
I think we will. I think out of all the top 4 teams, we're the most informed right now, and Sheffield United, that game there just proved it all to me. That just personified my confidence in this team. So, yeah, I think we'll do it. I think it'll be hard, but I think we'll do it.
So Daniel's happy after the win against Sheffield United. Dan, what do you think then about regarding top 4 and the race and where Man United stand?
If I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're going to do it. Pretty much based on the fact, like I said, the Chelsea performance last night, that's the team I'm worried about, and they're doing what I expected them to do from the beginning of the season. So I don't think we're going to do it. But just like Daniel said, I've been raving about this from the beginning of the season, funny enough. So I'm not surprised the performance against Sheffield United the other day.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm not surprised at all. I was expecting that. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I'm looking forward to enjoying more so than anything else. Because now, if I'm going to be honest, what's the gap now? I think it's like 7 points with
between us
7 games to go between United and Chelsea. Yeah, so come on, Chelsea's going to drop 7
five between us and Chelsea, I believe, and 6 between us and Leicester.
Yeah.
5 between us and Chelsea.
Yeah, and 6 between us and Leicester. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let's have a check. Yeah, man. 5 between us and
so it's
Chelsea, and 6 between us and Leicester.
I said 7, shame, but no, 5 points. Now I still don't think we can. I mean, you know what? Yeah, and it's funny we saying that because I was talking to my son about it today, so I'm surprised I said 7. But I did say to him they have to lose 2 games between now and then. And like I said, we all saw them play against Manchester City last night. You're gonna see that team losing 2 games between now and then.
Yeah. I hear that. I think where I stand though is I'm putting Chelsea to one side now because, as you said, you know, for me, that performance yesterday, and I was speaking to a guy that I've had on the podcast before. He's a Chelsea fan, Lawrence. So me and him been going backwards and forwards, and he's been quite confident. Do you know what I mean? And he actually said that they will take points off City, and he said that will secure top 4 if they win. And I agree. Them winning yesterday secured top 4 for them. But who I'm chasing now is Leicester. I'm looking like Leicester are food that we can go after and just hunt now. Because 6 points between us and Leicester's games, boys, like they've got some hard games, man. They've got, obviously, they're playing Chelsea in the FA Cup, but they've got Everton in the league, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. And their last 2 games of the season is Spurs and then Man United. We played them on the last day of the season. So for me, it's in our hands. If we're within 3 points of them, because we've got a superior goal difference as well, if we're within 3 points of them on the last day of the season, and I think we'd probably be better than that anyway by then, I think we could do it, boys.
Yeah.
Dan, jump on the train, man.
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, because I'm one of those. I'll be blatantly honest. I only pay attention to Manchester United, so I've not paid attention to Leicester's remaining fixtures. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I looked at the Tottenham game, and I thought if we don't beat Tottenham, it's over. So I'd already shut my stools from then. So I didn't pay attention to the rest of the season. But now that you've said that, and I mean they're playing Chelsea and Everton. Everton away is a difficult fixture, and plus they go to the Emirates.
Yeah, and
but
Tottenham.
I don't know because it's Brendan Rodgers, bro. And I know he's been there before with Liverpool. I know, but that Leicester team, like let's be honest, they're not there by mistake.
Yeah, they're a good side.
Come on, they're not there by mistake. So it's like it was gonna take 2 or 3 weeks for everybody to warm back up and get back into the season. So, like I said, I mean, I've written it off. And as a United fan, if we get there and it's the last day and we need to beat Leicester, then praise you, bro. Praise you.
I'm telling you, man.
You're giving me hope.
I'm telling you. I'm saying, man, we're gonna eat. What do you reckon about Leicester then, Daniel? Do you think that we could catch them at least? Because you think we're gonna make top 4. So where do you think we're gonna finish in the top 4?
It's like what my guy said. It's like what Daniel said as well. I'm not really looking at Chelsea now. Last night, I wanted Man City to win. I thought if we can keep the gap at 2 points, then maybe when they play Liverpool, I believe that will be our chance to overtake them. But since they beat Man City, Pulisic, he surprised me. He looks back in form again. I'm not really looking at Chelsea, but Leicester, I don't know what it is. They just haven't seemed to have gotten out of first gear. I watched their game against Brighton. I watched their game against Watford, and they didn't look like the Leicester that's been at this, how they've been playing this season. So that's why I have a small bit of confidence. If we can close the gap to around 3 points, because like you said, our goal difference is better than theirs before we play them, I don't see why not, man. I don't see why not. We're the informed team right now. Again, the way we played against Sheffield United just proved that to me that, okay, we found our feet now. Our best players are back. We're in form now. So I'm confident, man. I'm confident. I understand why he's ruled it out, but no, man, I don't like giving up this easily, man.
You know, the other thing as well is because I think what's actually hindered us this season is our performances against the smaller teams, the ones who have defended, and we've been struggling to break them down. You know, in the bigger games, we've done well, and that's why if it was a shootout game last day of the season, we're within 3 points and we just have to beat Leicester. I fancy us. Yeah, I
Yeah.
fancy us to win that type of a game. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's quite a bit of wiggle room to just be within 3 points of them at that point. And it may be more, as I said, they got to play Tottenham. So at the end of the day, none of us know. We ain't got a crystal ball. Yeah, but yeah.
No, I think the Tottenham call, it's a good call, but I mean, even though they got, like, I can see Leicester beating Tottenham, you know.
You reckon?
Like, I can see Leicester beating Tottenham. Mourinho, it's not about Mourinho, I guess it's the players, also, they have to go out there and play. But
Yeah.
that Tottenham team, what are they playing for?
Yeah. Well, they're
Leicester
not far.
know they're playing for the Champions League spot. Leicester, that's what I'm trying to say. So they know they have to win that game. Tottenham lose or draw that game, it doesn't affect their position in the league.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dan, is Tottenham are only like, I think it's 4 or 5 points behind us. I think it's 4 points actually. They're only 4 points behind us. So again, depending on how things transpire at that point in time, and with City as well, with their transfer ban, if Spurs could even catapult themselves into 5th, they may be able to get Champions League football. So there's all to play for, you know. There's all to play for.
Not done, man. I've faith.
Well, like I said, I'm not fully ruling it out because you've given me a bit of light there. Because as I said, my ignorance kind of, once I saw Liverpool and it was all over, I was just like, forget it. It's all right.
Oh, I hear it.
Nothing else would be great. I don't care. We could win the Champions League. It's all right. It's all right.
Them ones.
I don't see them win our Premier League title. That's ours.
So if we was to move on from the top 4, and where do you both stand on Ollie as the manager? So, you know, especially if he does get us top 4, or what if he doesn't get us top 4? Where do you stand, Dan?
I don't know what I got. I'm backing Ollie. Very much in the sense of backing Ollie. And so Champions League, no Champions League, the fact of what he's done since he's been at the club, he deserves to see out his contract. That I'm curious. So I'm not bothered. I think he's done a great job, to be honest. And I love the way the team looks at the moment. So I think we stick by him no matter what happens.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, you're nodding your head. What are you saying then?
It's one of them things. Is he the man to win our Premier League titles? I don't think so. But you can't deny what he's done so far. The likes of Martial, Rashford, he's brought in players like Bruno, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, who have started to play well. I like this team now. Before, when I see the lineup, I would look at it and think, United again. But now I like this team. I like this. There seems to be a good vibe around the place. So I think just for that alone, he needs one more year at least to show what he can do with another solid window behind him. I agree. I'm behind him at the moment, but is he the guy to win us Premier League titles? I don't think he is. But for the next step of the rebuild, I think you have to keep Ollie for now.
Okay, interesting. Do you think that he's the man to win us titles then, Dan?
Yeah. Who was the man to win us titles? Was it Mourinho the man to win us titles?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, like, when I hear them things, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, we all know how it goes. Nobody, like, the only way you can get there is when you get there. And it's about how you build to get there. So you can see in a sense of the building process. If you build people that have the same vision as you, and if his vision is to be successful, then you can only give him that chance. If he's sitting there at the club going, well, no, we can't make top 4. Like, you know, look at what's his name, David Moyes. Like, you can hear in the talk, this guy's not ambitious enough to be the manager of this club. It's as simple as that. So with Ole Solskjaer, he speaks like our most successful manager. This is the thing that I don't understand with United supporters. It's like, what are you not in tune with here? So then if you're now worried about, is he going to get us titles? Really? Like, those things will come. Like, you can only get us titles with the experience on the pitch, not the manager sitting on the bench. The players on the pitch have to now get in tune and get in vibe, get behind the manager and play for the manager. Look at those Liverpool players. They're playing for the manager.
But is it as simple as saying that, though, that they're playing for the manager, or is it the manager has got them playing? Because Jurgen Klopp has got a history now of building this type of a team. Whereas when we look at Ollie, we can't really say, okay, he's done this at that level. That's what it's about, the CV. He hasn't done that before. And then even at the moment, we have to be real. The season has not been brilliant. Do you know
We're
what I mean?
still on the points tally.
Exactly. That is really, really bad. So there has been a lot of games where him as the manager has not performed, because we always talk about the players. The manager also has to perform.
Yeah. The thing is, I would say my argument to that would be the fact that it's based on an experience thing. Like I said, you start from somewhere. Like, how did Mourinho make his name? Before he made his name, who knew who Jose Mourinho was? But I'm sure in his circle and in his camp, he was, somebody. So for me with Solskjaer, like, I've looked at his career and said, this guy made all the United youth teams, isn't it? Up until the reserves. Then he went away, then came back. So my thing looking at him, it's not as if he's now a foreign manager. I've got to look at his team. My thing is, he has come from the club. So it's like getting a player. It's like getting a youth player from under 5, training him up, and then he becomes a first team player. What are you going to expect him? You can expect, give him the experience, give him the time, but he's got the DNA in his blood to be a Manchester United player. Let him play. So that's what I see when I see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the helm. I see a man that's coming. He's as you said, to change the dressing room. You don't see Jesse Lingard tweeting and all of them things and dancing around the place like he used to with the other managers. And you can see all of those things. And he talks a lot about the boss, the gaffer. Solskjaer says the boss and the gaffer. Who's he talking about? And I hear so many United fans that, oh, we need to get Fergie out and all of this stuff. No, when Fergie was there, you know how many weeks, my cousin could tell you how many games he complained. This guy needs to go. He got it wrong today. He made bad decisions. He's sitting on the bench. He could have brought my man off the bench. And then by the end of the season, we're singing, he's the greatest manager of all time. Because so all of that, it happens in the season. Solskjaer's sitting there. And what I see when he's looking on the pitch is, we didn't do this in training. You guys just bottled this. You bottled all the plans, everything. But what can he do, man?
What do you think of the...
Sorry.
No. I was going to ask Daniel, what do you think have been the positives to take from Oli that you've seen this season?
Like I said earlier, like at the start of the season when Mourinho got sacked and when Oli took over, the team just seemed to be a bit disjointed for me. Like, we didn't really know our best 11. I feel now we pretty much do. There was little things like who would be the captain of the team. He's come in and just shut it down straight away. Maguire's come in and he said he's the captain. He's the guy that's going to lead us from now. There seems to be a good vibe around the camp. I don't really hear any bust-ups. Like I said earlier, you know you're starting 11. And slowly, in the big games, like we said earlier, he started to find a way to win it in the big games. So I have to credit him for that. You've got the likes of Rashford, Martial, who are starting to show what they can do. They've both got 19 goals. They're both on course for 20-plus goals, so you have to give him credit for that. Greenwood's coming. He slowly bedded Greenwood into the team.
Yeah.
And slowly, like before the break of Corona, we beat the likes of Watford 3-0. We won in the Europa League 5-0. We beat Sheffield United the other week 3-0. Early on in the season, these would be the type of games where, not against the top 6, where we would slip points against these teams. So
yeah.
I can see the things he's slowly starting to get right. So I do hear what Daniel's saying about Ollie's doing a good job in the rebuild. That's why, for me, you have to give him a chance to see this out.
So can I say, so you see with that, remember I said previously, the Sheffield United result didn't surprise me. So you see everything that Daniel's saying there. What I'm saying is, I saw that when he first came in. That was the problem in the sense of why Mourinho had to go. Because Fergie said to Moyes, when he brought him in, keep my staff. Moyes wanted to have his own staff, and that's where the problem started. Because then it's a whole new philosophy, it's a whole new training system, a whole new selecting system. And that was right. We got to a stage where after Mourinho, we couldn't even pick an 11. And they're telling us about, what was it, square pegs in round holes and all of that type of rubbish. But I'm sitting here and I'm going, I can pick an 11. So why can't this man pick an 11? Because he's trying to go for the result. That's what I'm saying. We're getting lost in the whole get result. Let's sign this £150 million player and get the result. It's like, no, be a coach, Mourinho. Be a coach. Coach your team. Find the best formation. And this is why I think Solskjaer has upshown him. Because how can this guy with little experience come in, take all the big names out, get rid of all of them? Okay, we're not paying you anymore. Bye. Let's get all the kids back in like it used to be. I don't care if we win, lose, or draw. Let's just get a philosophy back in here. Start playing for the club. Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, all of these guys. Look at all the transfers we've had before. These guys are talking about, I want to play for Fergie. The moment Fergie's gone, now it's about how much they're getting paid. Those things never happened under Alex Ferguson. So now all of a sudden we become that banter club. So nobody wants to play for us anymore. Everybody's getting worried. So it's coming. I don't care, because he's going to sign players that want to play for the club. That's it. And then when they want to play, then everybody else wants to play. Then when they all start playing, Sheffield United get tucked in. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Liverpool, let them all go and rant. Let them all go and do, because it was the wrong system and philosophy we were working with under Van Gaal and Mourinho. Anyway, Fergie never ran like that. And fans can say, oh, but he went and bought and he went and spent and he went and did. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. He was smart with his spending, but he only signed players who wanted to play for the club.
Yeah.
And those that didn't want to play for the club, they went elsewhere. And even those that were in the club and wanted to play, they went elsewhere. Goodbye.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that. So neither of you then are for getting rid of Ollie and bringing in Poch then?
Yes, that's right. He said it right there. So I don't even need to. He said it right there.
What did you say, Daniel?
Although, yeah, we know Poch is a better man than Ollie, but then you just have to start again. He has to then get his own players in. He has to build his philosophy in. Right now, United are slowly building. So I can see we're slowly starting to build something. So if he was to get Ollie, you'd start again. All of a sudden, players like Pogba, Bruno would start to be cold in a minute. We were building something, and now we're pretty much back to square one. Let Ollie feel it out, and then if it gets to a point where, like under Mourinho, where it got bad, then that's when I can understand you make the change. But for now, whereas the rebuilding's going quite well, just see it out, man.
I think. Sorry to add there. I think the biggest issue with United fans is this, because you can get carried away. When Guardiola left Bayern Munich and was just sitting there, like waiting for a club to come and get him, I was screaming for him. Like, let's go and get Guardiola. He's going to come in and give us 20 more years of success. But when you see it happen at City, I don't think United play like this. Gassed, we're beating teams and stuff, but it can only last so long, isn't it? Because he has to go and spend now another 500 million to going to be successful for the next 5 years. And then we're the ones looking at transfer ban and all of that type of stuff. Under Alex Ferguson, he didn't, like not even under Alex Ferguson, let me not do that, because that's my opinion. But the best thing you should ask United fans is, what is our philosophy? Right, what is our philosophy? And what I see when I see Manchester United play, particularly under Ferguson, was win at all costs. We'll change the formation in the last minute. We'll stick a centre back up the top. That's why we're scoring in the 95th minute and those type of things. When Arsene Wenger came in, when Arsene Wenger came in, Fergie changed the system, changed the style, changed the philosophy, everything. When Mourinho came in, changed the system, changed the style, changed the philosophy, changed everything. Guardiola came in, he was too old to keep up and just said, yeah, you know what, I'll quit, get somebody younger to deal with this. Right. So here's the young man that's come to deal with it. That's how I see it.
I have to say, man, and I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong, and I'll hold my hands up. And I think that you can change your opinion and your mind on stuff, man. So I was very much, especially throughout this season, very much Ollie out, and he would annoy me and stuff like that. But I do agree, man, that look, there are and you see with me, yeah, I say, look, if I'm gonna knock you when you do bad, I have to give you praise when you do well. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't be a hypocrite and when you do well and I say, oh, but it's because of this and it's because of this. So there has been a lot of positive stuff to come from this season. And like what you said, the Rashford and Martial, you know, and many, like even the way I think that he's had actually managed the Pogba situation, I think has been really, really good. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm a big Pogba fan, and I have to rate the way he's managed that situation, and the way he's got players out that weren't doing well with the deadwood that we've all called it, and he's brought players in. And definitely, man, those performances against, because I'll be honest, in the beginning of the season, I thought we was going to get tucked in by Spurs, thought we was going to get tucked in by Arsenal. I just had no hope. And then we started picking up points against these teams. And I was like, and then now you're getting to the point where when we're playing these teams, I'm thinking, rah, we're going to win this. Like when we played Spurs the other day, I thought, yeah, we're going to win this game. I wasn't thinking like that at the beginning of the season, I'll be real. So I have to say that Ollie has done that, man. So I agree with the both of you, man. You know, man is rebuilding. Give him a chance. Just give him a chance.
I think to add, sorry, just to add the shots to that, another thing, if you look at how he structured the squad itself, one of the strongest things, one of the biggest identities we had under Alex Ferguson was 2 players to every position.
Yeah.
we had like sort of like an A squad and a B squad. Because I remember I used to bring to
Yeah.
Arsenal fans that our B squad to smash an A squad. Like, when you look at the team now, he's slowly starting to build that. The only thing that I'm waiting to see now is what the B squad is going to look like.
Yeah.
Because you can see what the A squad looks like, but it's just a case of who like, if we don't have Maguire and Lindelof, if he's going to rest Maguire and Lindelof, who does he play?
We'll put Riley in.
That's what I'm saying. So those are the issues now that he has to sort out. That's why I want to see him now respond. And if he doesn't fix those things, then I can start to say, well, yeah, all right, then he needs to now address that side of his management.
Yeah.
So going forward, then, who or what areas do we now need to strengthen in over the next couple of seasons? What areas do we then start to focus on strengthening in? Daniel.
Well, for me, right winger. Right winger for me is the biggest priority because Daniel James, I like him, good kid. He's not good enough. He's not good enough, man. Welsh, I call him the Welsh Aaron Lennon, man. Just kick and run. No, man. The way Greenwood come in the other day and he's holding on to the ball, he looks stronger.
Yeah.
He's linking the play. He doesn't just hang on the touchline. He floats in and around.
Yeah.
If you want to get like a Sancho who can also do that, along with the form of Rashford and Martial, then all of a sudden our front three, with the likes of Agala as backup, James as backup, Greenwood can come in and out every now and then. All of a sudden our attacking options look filled pretty much. And CDM for me would go a long way as well because although I like Fred and McTominay, for me they're more CMs. Matic is the only CDM we have, and obviously so for me that would be an area I would address as well. And then you look at like secondary options like left back and maybe another centre forward when Agalo does leave. But for now, I wouldn't really worry about those positions too much. But for me right now, I'd get a right winger and a CDM as like main priorities.
Wicked. And Dan, would you agree with what Daniel said there?
I don't know. I mean, I can understand why he said that. I think this whole sort of Dan James thing, I think it's a bit unfair.
No.
I don't know. I probably think the only person that actually. Like when I say that, yeah, like, all right, let's just leave it at that. I agree that he's not ready. So let's just leave it at that. I'm going to say he should be first team. He should not be first team. There's a few Manchester United players that shouldn't even be in the squad, full stop. But they've got away with it. Where we need strengthening, I would love to see Jadon Sancho come in. I think if that works, oh my word. But at the same time, I don't want to get Jadon Sancho because, like I said, against Sheffield United, I've been saying it, our front three needs to be Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, and Mason Greenwood. The way those three interchange, do you remember Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Right. And it's just madness. It's like we've got Van Persie, Ronaldo, and this little French Ronaldo in the middle. It's mad. There's nobody seeing this. And it's like Liverpool fans are gassing about Salah. Come on, man. That's going to be dead soon.
Yeah, that's right.
See, it's going to be dead soon. And we're already catching them slowly. So I think Jadon Sancho for the right-hand side. I think my real cause for concern is our defense. Like, I do like that Solskjaer sorted that, but I do feel like we're still prone to that silly mistake of that ball going through. Look at the Tottenham goal. Like, for me, I looked at that and thought, if we had a Vidic in there, Vidic would have cleaned him out. He don't got nowhere near the penalty box. So we still need that commanding centre half or someone that's going to have that. Because I like what Maguire's done, and he's really good, but I still think he needs someone beside him with that raw pace, that raw energy. Like, with Lindelof's brain. do you know what I mean?
Basically, yeah.
That kind of, we're missing that. Like a Van Dijk, let's just be real, innit? We're missing a Van Dijk. So I think if we just had that, then, I'm like, go on, Ollie, get us to the title.
You know what? I thought that Maguire was going to be that guy, man. I said on my last podcast. Yeah, I knew he weren't as good as Van Dijk, but I thought he would have the same impact.
Yeah.
And I've been disappointed with Maguire this season, I have to be honest. Now, I'm not saying that he can't come good, especially if you put another quality centre-half next to him, but I did think he was going to have a better impact this season and stop goals like what we saw there because, not just the price tag that we paid for him, but England #1 centre back and everything. I thought he was better than what I actually now believe he is after watching him closely for a whole season. So I agree. I think that we need to sort out that, a partner for him, because obviously he's not going anywhere. Bay, I would like to be given a chance to play alongside Maguire, because then it might be that the Maguire's a little bit more calm, that he might calm Bay down
You
a
know
little
what?
bit.
The candidate for me, and sorry, just to go back with what you were saying there with Maguire, when we signed him, I wasn't happy. I didn't want Maguire, and I reckon the person that I wanted to sign, I probably would have annoyed a few United fans, but Toby Alderweireld was sitting there for 25 million. This guy is a footballer. What's going on? So that was, but it's done. But moving forward, I guess I'm just confused in the sense of like Axel
Twanzebe, yeah.
When I'm watching this guy in pre-season, right, and you can see everybody's raving about it. You watch the guy play live, you watch him play in the youth games. He is so composed, he's so calm, he's quick, he's physical, he's good in the air.
Yeah. So we've lost you a bit there, Dan.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, no, you can't do that. So yeah, I'm
no,
sorry.
that's
They're
cool,
excited.
man. It's quarantine movements, this, man. Don't watch that. You get me? 2020, man. That's how we move, man.
They're excited.
Yeah, continue, man.
All right, sorry. Yeah, but no, I think it's just more a case of Twanzebe, for his development, it would have been good or to see him play a bit more. I understand there's like injuries and he gets a bit, I know he spends a lot of time in the injury room, but from what I've heard so far, he hasn't had any injuries. So I was expecting to at least see him a bit more.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's what we need. I think we need a left back. I'm not.
Yeah, that was going to be a question. That was going to be a question to you, man. I want to know, what do we do with Luke Shaw, man? What do we do with him?
Listen. Under Van Gaal, this guy was the best left back in the world. Then Mourinho came in and shot his confidence to pieces. Then Solskjaer's come in and made him look like one of the best left-sided centre-halves in the world. It's like, mate, when you play left wing or left back or left wing back, right? He has a tendency to continuously cut back inside and play the ball back.
Give it to McTominay.
Can you not see that every time you've gone around the outside of your marker, you've caused success? So just do it every time. Even if you get a throw in, even if it goes out for a corner, you scared to lose possession? I just don't get it.
Dan, what do you reckon about Luke, man?
Just continuing on that. Look at Wan-Bissaka on our right-hand side. We all talk about Wan-Bissaka and rave about him for being this defensive right back. But if you look at the assists he's got this season, I remember against Chelsea, he takes over and goes on the outside, gets across it.
A Martial header.
Ends up as defender, goes on the outside, gets across him. I think Newcastle earlier on in the season when we won 4-1, he takes on his fullback. He's actually getting better going for. I don't see Luke Shaw doing this, but everyone raves about Luke Shaw saying, "Oh, he's been better." No. I don't see him do what Wan-Bissaka does. Everyone talks about Wan-Bissaka being this defensive right back, but I see Wan-Bissaka try and go on the outside. I don't see Luke Shaw doing it. So it's one of them.
I think what plays Luke Shaw is his pace. Like he's electric and he's got good recovery pace. So if you have a player that I can see why managers play him, because I guess if I was there, you'd have to play him if you're playing against a team that has a quick attack. But Mourinho didn't have to do him like that, because I just felt like if he'd have given him a bit more confidence in himself, someone just needs to tell him, "Well done, Luke. That's it. That's it. just keep up the good work. That works." I just feel like someone's telling him and he's not hearing it, or
you know what? Now
something going wrong there.
I proper used to back him, man, and especially in the Jose time when Jose would talk about, the weight issue and all of that stuff. I used to proper stand up for Luke. But now I'm actually at the point where I'm thinking, I think it is a professionalism problem. I do think it is that. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily just down to confidence. I think him as a professional, he's not up to the time, man. He don't put enough work in. He doesn't look after himself enough. And then it just transpires on the pitch that he just doesn't do what we need him to do, because that cutback stuff is just dead, man. Come on. And we can all see it. It needs to stop. And like what you say, Wan-Bissaka's, you can see the improvement. You can see him trying. At least he's trying. That's all we want. I
The
don't mind.
defensive
I don't.
balance of-
Yeah. I don't mind him trying and losing the ball in the final third. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to. I don't mind that, but he doesn't even try. So
The thing is, I'm sure it's got to be obvious because I mean, check you're watching the game. You just have to check the game. So we get very low. So all of our attack come down.
oh, we're losing you again.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you now. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'm saying you can see it by the shape and the end of it. That is very lopsided. Because a lot of it goes around on the right hand side where it comes to a stop on the left hand side. And Rash should be right foot. You go around some inside. Sometimes when it cuts back in onto his right. Now the last time we had any kind of success of pinning the team all the way back was when we had Evra, because Evra gave us a left-footed cross, and we had West Brown giving us a right-footed cross. So we were able to pin teams so far back that Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney, they had all of that success of when we hit them on the break, they didn't know who to pick up. Where now they know he's going to stop so far. So then it cuts that. So then we have to come back across, then come back across, then come back across. You know, in fact, like, but we don't see what the problem is. We blame other players because they have to keep passing it across. But then you understand, no, he's not making that run to open the team up. Sorry.
And what? So, would you play Williams now then, gents? Would you get Williams in like at the moment? What would you do in that position, Daniel? What do you think?
For me, I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced. He has good energy. He's tenacious. He puts himself about, but he's another one. I don't really see him getting these crosses in as well. Like, he tries to get forward a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really see him putting in these quality crosses like an Evra would. Again, he's a right-footed playing at left back now.
That's
the problem. That's the problem.
The
so
issue,
that's why I don't really have a, because he really should be Wan-Bissaka's backup. He shouldn't be Luke Shaw's backup. It's just fortunate that he can play left back. That's what I see with that.
Yeah. All right,
and it's frustrating for him. Sorry, but we've done it. So the last thing I was going to say, because I was having a conversation with my sons earlier, was the goalkeeper, because they raised a really good question in the sense of David De Gea. And remember Roy Keane having a go at him the other night.
It's like we're on telepathy. That was going to be my next question. I'm going to show you my notes after this, and I'm going to show you that this was the next one. This is mad. Anyway, let's roll on. This ain't even stage, people. This ain't even stage.
It's because they were asking me, they were saying, but Dean Henderson's on loan. He's helped Sheffield United. Should we get him back? What should we do with De Gea? And it's like, well, I think every person gets to that stage of if the money's right. The person's there, then if he can get something, then I'm like, because Sergio Romero for me is a decent standing, and then Dean Henderson with what he's doing, I'll be fine doing that for the next 3 years, and then Dean Henderson becomes number one. But that means that we need to get top dollar for De Gea. I need to see like nothing less than 50 million.
Yeah.
Nothing less. If it's like something silly, like he goes on a free or somebody like cut price 27 million, I'll be upset. If we don't sell him, I'll be over the moon. But it's just one of them ones. I think that's going to be a problem issue for us coming up, because you've got four goalkeepers. I guess Romero and Grant don't. But with what Dean Henderson has done for Sheffield United and his profile now raising, I don't want that to be another silly issue where we get egg on our face and we let this kid go. Someone now is taking him and it's like, bloody hell, we could have done with that now,
Yeah. Daniel, what do you reckon? Do you agree with Dan?
Yeah. For me, I just think De Gea's just gotten comfortable. Before he was playing in defensive, he had Phil Jones, he had Smalling, he had Young and Valencia. He was always going to be faced with a lot of shots, and because of that, you notice the one big saves that he's made. Now that our defense is a little bit better, and then he kind of knows Romero is the second choice. He kind of knows Grant's not going to get anywhere near the first team. It just seems he's a bit more complacent. He's on a good contract, so I just think he's just gotten comfortable at this point. Hence why we're seeing the slightly more errors in his game. So get Dean Henderson in. If De Gea wants to fight for his place, then cool, he can fight for his place with Dean Henderson. But if not, then see you later, man. Because I trust him. Every time errors come in, he's done a good job. He surprised you. He doesn't make the silly mistakes. He makes big saves. I remember a few games in Europa League, last minute teams are coming on to us. He'll pull off a save and you're thinking, oh, that's
and he makes it look comfortable. Yeah, you say it makes it look so comfortable. You thinking, damn, would have made a meal out of that.
I'm like, what the hell have done with that? Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Your goalkeeper's got to make you feel calm. And Romero in goal makes me feel calm.
Relax.
But the thing is, DDG used to make me feel like that, but he hasn't now for a little while. And I think what you said there, Daniel, is well, you're both Daniel, but Daniel, what you said, is very true in the sense that I think now, because he doesn't have as many shots and he's not as active as he used to be, now we're seeing the lapse in concentration. Do you know what I'm saying? Before, where he was active all of the time, because that's what they say, in it, the mark of a real good goalkeeper is when he's called upon. You ain't been called upon all game and then you called upon. And I think that has been the big change in De Gea, is where we've seen the problem is where he's facing less shots and work and everything like that. Then now he's struggling. So yeah, man, I'm of the thing now where go on.
No, so you're saying you're the thing of.
No, I think I'm in the position now where I'm like, we've got Henderson, but this contract that we've given De Gea now has caused a massive problem, innit? He's what, 350 a week. How do you then drop him and bring in Henderson? It's not gonna. You can't have a 350 grand a week keeper on the bench. So
he'll never play again, you know.
Say that again.
I said he'll never play again, you know.
So the only thing that we can do now is sell him. That's the only thing that we can do. And I don't know if that's even on the cards, because who's now going to come in and pay the 50 mil that we're going to potentially want?
Who wants him? It's not. In fact, it's not even a case of who wants him. Who needs him? Real Madrid have Courtois.
I think. Nah, but that's the thing. I think the thing with the whole thing with Madrid and Courtois, they're very patriotic in Spain. So don't be surprised if the Spain number one does end up at Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? Because one of the biggest things that I noticed with him is the fact that look at how long it took him to establish himself as Spain's number one.
He's even making mistakes for Spain, though.
Thank you. Even when we were raving about him being the best goalkeeper in the world, he still wasn't Spain's number one.
Yeah.
Right. So that should have let us know already, like, where he really was in the pecking order. But we just needed somebody to just keep the ball at the back of the net, like Daniel said. Our defense support, like, since he's been with us, like, what has he actually helped us achieve? And it's not down to him. I'm just saying in the sense of, what has he helped us achieve? Like, he's just achieved this whole thing of the best goalkeeper in the world because of my clean sheets and all the saves that I've made. So well done. And you got your 350 grand for it. Let's go our 50 mil, part ways, and let's go back to the old Manchester United. Yeah,
and I'm also agree with the Romero, man. He's the best number 2 in world football, boy. Best number 2 in world football. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off, Daniel. You was about to say something.
Oh, it's just one of them things there. Like, growing up watching Manchester United, I'm not worrying about who's in our goal. I'm worried about how many goals we're going to pack the other team in. Back in the day, you see, we're playing Watford today, or we're playing Everton today. Is it going to be 3-0? Is it going to be 4-0? I'm not worried about who's in goal. It shouldn't be like that, man.
But going forward now, if we was to segue onto another part that I wanted to ask you guys, talking about scoring goals, then we've got Anthony Martial that's been given the number 9, and he's playing in. What do we think, man? What do we think? Can he lead the line? Because I've been very vocal in my WhatsApp groups and to certain people when they were calling for Haaland, me on Twitter as well. And I've been saying the problem is not scoring goals. The problem was creating chances. So getting Haaland, to me, wouldn't have made no improvement. We needed to create the chances. Martial can score the goals if he's given the chances. So that's my take on it. Me personally, I think Martial can do a thing going forward. I'm not really looking to bring in another striker to displace Martial. But what do you think? What do you guys think? All right, Daniel, let me start with you because I know you're
Martial. I've been so vocal about this, bro. Like, everyone been screaming to me, let's get Haaland. But I've been screaming to people, he's in a Dortmund team that are very functional and create a lot of chances from all different angles. You've got Sancho, Hakimi, Guerrero, Witsel in midfield. all you have to worry about in that Dortmund team, because of their system, is you just have to get in the right positions. In this United team, we're not at that point where we're creating chances from all angles. So you have to have something more about you. And for me, Haaland doesn't have that about him where he can get the ball on a half turn and go on a dribble like the way Martial can.
Yeah.
We're not at that point where we're creating chances that will. All of a sudden, now that Bruno's come in, now that Pogba's come back into the team, Rashford's come back into the team, and chances are being created, you're seeing the Anthony Martial we know. Martial, I saw a stat the other day, has missed like 9 clear-cut chances in the Premier League, whereas I saw the likes of Tammy Abraham has missed 20. Firmino's missed 19, even though he's this defensive striker that his goal isn't. That's not his role. So, you see what I'm saying? The problem is him getting chances. And sometimes I'm an attacker myself. Sometimes you just know your teammates. When you see it's Lingard, Pereira, a bit of you kind of goes, then they haven't got the technical ability to play this ball. I'm not making this run. Like, look at the goal against Man City, where Bruno Fernandes is standing over the free kick. If Lingard or Pereira is standing over that free kick, you think Martial does that with the hands in behind? Of course he doesn't, bruv. He just stays on the centre-back and thinks, I'm chilling, bruv. The goal against Bruno Fernandes was the dink at the second attempt. If that's someone like Fred or Lingard, he don't make that run. Like, against Sheffield United on the weekend, Wan-Bissaka, he trusts Wan-Bissaka, he trusts Rashford. Rashford, that wasn't like a calculated cross, he fizzed it across.
Yeah.
He trusts him, he makes the run in there. For the third goal, he makes the run in behind for Rashford to slip him through. So for me, you've got to trust Martial. He's got 19 goals in all competitions, and so has Rashford. But everyone calls Rashford has had this consistent season, and Martial's been lazy and not been up to it, but they've both scored the same amount of goals.
And Martial was out for like two months or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had a while out, didn't he?
Yeah. What are you saying then, Dan?
Do you know what? Again, this is
When you load, I start thinking, oh, what's going now?
This is what I enjoy about being again because I learn the process. I love to see the development of the players. So what I saw here with Martial in the beginning was a striker, but playing under a manager and playing in a system or a team that was not going to help develop. It was about results. So the fans are literally like, but you ain't scoring no goals, so you're rubbish. Not paying attention to, as you're saying, the build-up. I've been screaming for years that it was Mata that should have played off Martial. It should have been Mata and Martial playing together because Mata would have been the one to find him. You know the little dink balls that he was getting from Rashford?
Yeah.
Then you had him and Rashford. And the issue that I was having here was that both of them want to be the main man. So they're not looking out for each other. Even though when they are passing to each other, it's an instinct pass. They're not looking for each other. It's more a case of a run out of space here. There you go. You're in. You're finished now.
Have it now.
Right. Similar to yesterday, look at Martial's pass to Rashford. So you can see Rashford's learning the humility of setting his man up. But Martial is like, I'm the number 9 now. So I'll pass to you if I have to, not because I want to. So you know the one where he fluffed the open goal and that's an instinctive.
It was a heavy touch.
Right. If he had a better touch, he went passing to Rashford. He didn't tuck that away. What are you talking about? You all know Martial. So it's them developing that kind of relationship. And as you're right, I fully agree with Daniel in the sense of when we weren't creating these type of chances, we needed a Bruno Fernandes. We needed, like I said, a Mata close to him. Look at Pogba in the beginning of the seasons when he was given that freedom to get closer to the attackers. I'm attacking Chelsea 4-0. That season when was it this season when we went to play Swansea and we tucked them as well, like straight after, like because of that.
Yeah, that was this season.
Just the man playing in around him, just in and around him. As long as he's got that going. Now he's got some strike partners, really, really heavy artillery strike partners in Rashford and Greenwood. So that takes some weight off of him. So he's going to get more space because defenders are going to be, Rashford's gone, Greenwood's gone. Yeah, right. Ball's going to come into him. And he had that space. Scored 2 goals yesterday from crosses, just a tapping or nice neat finish.
Strikers goals people have been wanting him to get.
Yeah, right, exactly. There ain't no foot in the box. All right. Cool, we'll see.
Type of goal. What now?
Yeah, we'll see. I've seen him score headers. I've seen him score them kind of goals. I've seen him defense and score. Thank you. So, as I say, our French Ronaldo.
Yeah, man. And it's good to hear some people like backing Martial because I feel like I'm always fighting a battle with Martial, especially because I've got mans calling him crap and all the sorts. And then I'm trying to explain to them the way Manchester United play because it's not always Manchester United fans, it's other fans. And I'm trying to explain to them, we don't create chances. And Martial, I started last year when in one of my first episodes of doing my Everyone's a Pundit podcast, I put a stat up because Martial was statistically the most clinical striker in the Premier League
Hits per
based
goal,
on goals
per
and shot
goal.
conversion and everything. And I even had to look at the Firmino and Martial comparison. I think it was yesterday. And then people will try and talk about Firmino being the defensive striker and he's got this different role and da-da-da-da-da. He's had a lot more shots than Martial. Do you know what I'm saying? When you check,
And
he's had a lot more shots. And this
Yeah.
is in a team that is very functional and they're wiping teams every week. So, yeah, man, for me, I'm like, we've got our number 9.
I think one of the key things behind this, I think, again, you can't miss the trick here. Van Gaal, Mourinho, coaches. Van Gaal's, he does well with young players, like potential and putting them through. The Ajax team is his testament. Jose Mourinho is good at getting the best players on the pitch to follow a system to win the game. That's his testament.
Yeah.
Again, going back to Solskjaer and Alex Ferguson, these are 2 former players that played as strikers. So strikers take risks. If strikers that are managers, they've got that mentality. So when we're talking about developing a player, like Solskjaer been developed by his manager. So now he's a manager that wants to develop players. So he's going to pull Martial to one side and say, look, take that risk. Look, he's going to... We're going to shut at him. Why weren't you there? Why didn't you do that? It's a different mentality when you're developing. So you're going to see it, and hopefully, he's going to hit another 25 goals next season.
Yeah. I hope so, man. I'm. This is the difference between, I say, with Man United and an Arsenal, is that I can now see light at the end of the tunnel, and I think this is why it's totally changed my perspective on Ollie. Because I literally see, I can see what I was blinded to seeing before when I would speak to certain people. I can see the blueprint and I can see the players, and your Rashford, your Martial, and your Greenwood is such a brilliant player, man. He really is. And I've been screaming for him to be playing. I don't know why Daniel James has been playing ahead of him. But I was saying, is it just me, or does it look like he's actually beefed up a bit
I was gonna say it is an age thing. You have to be careful with that sometimes, because it's a men's game, and as much as we enjoy it on the field, you can't rush players like Mason Greenwood, because what's he now, just turned 18, hasn't he? So you can't rush those things. Like, like, what, you're gonna go play against Arsenal tonight? Just be careful. Do you know what I mean? So you have to kind of treat it that way. And he's come back from pre-season. Look at him physically. I can't wait. This Van Persie all over again. I can't wait.
He's bad, man. He's bad.
I can't wait.
What I wanted to touch on as well, though. Oh, go on, Daniel.
No, I was just saying, Pogba and Bruno's come back as well. So it's exciting times, man.
Yeah, man. So you're helping me segue again, man. This is beautiful. We're loving it. I needed to touch on Paul Pogba, man. We need to speak about Paul Pogba, because I've had conversations with Dan in the past about Paul Pogba, and I know what Daniel thinks about Paul Pogba, only because of what I've seen from him on Twitter and stuff. But Daniel, talk to me about Paul Pogba, and then we'll let Dan come in, because Dan's gonna go and he's gonna load up. But yeah, Daniel, what are you saying about Paul Pogba? Does he stay long term? What would you do with him? Talk to us.
It's one of them things. I think now we're in a position where we kind of need to know where we stand with Paul Pogba. Does he stay long term, and or do we just cash out and get the money for him? But if we're talking about the player's ability, I heard United fans before the Tottenham games telling me, Pogba needs to earn his way back into this team. I'm like, shut up. Do you know who this guy is? This guy can do everything a midfielder can do. Like the way he won the penalty against Spurs, where this is a 6'4" powerhouse midfielder, and he's going on the right hand side tricking defenders. The guy's our best player, man. Like, he comes back against Sheffield United as well, creates the most chances. I think it was 4.
4 chances, yeah.
The guy's different gravy, man. Like, the guy walks into our team. And again, it's another one of those things there where when players like Martial and Rashford see players like Pogba on the pitch, all of a sudden they take more risk and run in behind. They know the ball's going to get played. Like, against Tottenham, Martial had a quiet 60 minutes, but then Paul Pogba comes onto the pitch.
Creates 2 chances.
He's alive. He gets 2 opportunities. Well, another day of sharper Martial, like we saw against Sheffield United, he buries some chances. Pogba needs to play, man. like the way people were telling me, Paul Pogba needs to earn his way back into the team. Fred and McTominay have been good this season. But I'm like, we haven't played in 3 months. So any type of form or momentum that you've had, it's just out the window now. It's out the window. You're basically starting the season again. So you have to basically pick the best players on merit, which I was a bit annoyed about Ollie not starting Pogba, but a bit of me did get it. But then a bit of me went, but hold on. You don't want to start Pogba because of his injury that he's had, but you want to play Rashford for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's just one of them. I think now we're in a position now where we just need to know where Paul Pogba stands in this rebuild. If we was to get Champions League football and then sign the likes of a Sancho, then all of a sudden, I think for me, that would show to Pogba, we are going in the right direction. We are showing ambition. And then maybe it could convince him to stay a bit longer, maybe one more year, just to see where things go from there. But Pogba's just different class, man.
Wicked. So there, Dan, you're gonna load up now. Go on, load up.
I'm gonna laugh this one out. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna laugh now. Yeah, my issue is with Pogba. It's a similar issue I had with Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, you love these players because you want to see them wearing the United shirt. You want to see them light up Old Trafford every week. Do it to Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. The problem we have though is, check it, football on a personal level. That's the things that the fans can't control. We can't see what's happening behind the closed doors. But the players can fix that with their relationship with the fans and how they, and I don't think he helps that cause. That's my issue with Pogba. Now, a lot of people will defend him and say the people he has around him and everything, but check it. Those things then run onto the pitch because then you're saying players will look and say, okay, here's Pogba now on the pitch. How do you know players are not now looking and going, here comes Pogba now. He's going to hold on to the ball for too long. So there's no point in me making that. Do you understand? So it could have been that case. The only thing that happens from this is we under full circumstances. We signed him as this big superstar. He was supposed to come in and change the whole thing. He was supposed to help us win the league, put too much pressure on the kid. He came back, as he said in his words, to prove that he could make it in the first team. So for me, he didn't come back and go, we're going to win the league, we're going to win the league. He's not talking aspirational like Bruno Fernandes. He's not talking like any regular Manchester United signing would say. He's just come back to prove a point. I wanted to be a man here. You told me to go. Now you sign me back. Now I'm mad. That's what I see. So when he plays, he's a very good player. There's no doubt about it. He's won the World Cup in France. Like, he's a world-class player, a fantastic athlete. But where's his brain now when he's on the pitch? What I've seen with Ollie is remove him from all of that now. And please tell me, because before all what was, if I'm not mistaken, every summer or any time it comes up for any transfer window, any issues, if everything gets quiet, they go and find Pogba. Oh, what's he done now? Oh, he's leaving. Or Pogba said this, or Pogba done that. He's got an injury. But I ain't heard nothing about Pogba recent. That's what the manager's supposed to do. So you manage it like that. And then when we got the Tottenham game, everybody's like, is Pogba going to be in the team? No, he's not in the team. Sit down and chill. He'll come on at half-time. Relax. So I just see good player management. Good management in the sense of...
And to be fair, not a lot was made about that.
Thank you. And then when we get to that stage of now come the next transfer window, bro, if you still want to go, if you're still dancing around and flirting with clubs, go. We've got Bruno Fernandes and we'll use the money we get from you and we'll sign a replacement. Because the biggest thing that's calmed me down with this whole thing of if Pogba staying or going, Nemanja Matic, right? You see Nemanja Matic. There was a period where everybody's like, this guy's dead. I'm looking at this guy and I'm saying, he's dead. Why is this guy out of club? What's going on? Then I actually had to watch. Then I actually watched because I'm thinking this can't be real. He cannot still be playing if he's that poor. So I had to watch the other place and realize, this guy's babysitting. He's babysitting all these players on the pitch. He's trying to put out fires. He's like, guys, calm down. Why are you rushing? Right. So you can go, Matic, Fernandes, we'll get somebody else in. You got McTominay. I believe Ole Solskjaer can get the true potential out of that Andreas Pereira kid because that guy's got a 30-yard rocket on him. And if he can learn to just settle down and pass the ball, we've got players, bro. Like Pogba, that's one player, and I've just named 3 different players from that one player. So what are you saying? We need one player to make our team.
You can't then bring in. I was with you for the most of that, and then you brought in Andreas Pereira, and I'm just like,
what I'm saying, What I would
say,
just to be clear, I'm not saying that Pereira will be the replacement for Pogba. I'm just saying let's not put too much effort on whether Pogba plays or not, because we've got Fernandes, we've got Matic, we've got players that will help the system flow. We've got Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, as long as these guys are going to play the ball to them and not try and make it all about this flashy 60-yard pass and, oh, my blue hair today or my green hair today or something I did today. I want to see that. I just want to see this ball flowing and the ball end up in the back of the net, 7, 8, 9, 3 minutes.
So my thing is that with Paul Pogba, I think because you said there about blue hair and green hair and stuff like that, for me that's not what Pogba is about. Like, if Pogba is as a human being likes to dye his hair, then that should really have we shouldn't even be mentioning that when we're talking about the player. The player himself, and I know what you said there about he's come to prove a point. Like, for me, Pogba wants to win. You know what I'm saying? Pogba wants to win the trophy. Pogba wants to win everything. Pogba, even if you are saying that as a person that you're going to be egotistical, like, you want to be the best in it. You don't want to be the best and be like, oh, I was the best at Manchester United. No, you want to be the World Cup winner. You want to turn around and say, when you look back at your trophies and say, yeah, I won the Premier League, I won the Scudetto, I've done this and I've done that.
Can I ask that though? You see, so because one of my biggest things is, did you see his performance at the World Cup?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just his performance, sorry, his performances. And then apparently, because I haven't heard this myself, but there was a quote going around about the changing room talk before the game and that Pogba's talk with the team and all of this.
Yeah, haven't you seen it?
I've not seen it, but when it got back to me, I was thinking, wow, so this is coming from his mouth. This is the same guy that's struggling to even get a decent sort of run Pogba, tackle him Pogba. Yeah, okay, fine.
But we've already said though, Dan, is that when we're talking about Martial, we're talking about these players having played under a manager that wants to have certain players to fit a system to get the result. And we can see how Jose has dealt with certain players over his whole entire career. We're even seeing it at Spurs now with the way he's dealing with Ndombele. I think there's no surprise that him and Pogba clashed, because the first season, I don't think no one could label all of this abuse at Paul Pogba. The first season was decent. Everything was working well. We won the Europa and we could see stuff. And then the second season comes and it all goes to pot. Like, for me personally, I think if you see the relationship between Oli and Pogba now, it's totally different. Do you know what I'm saying? It is. And the beginning of the season, Pogba, everybody started off well. No one could then say that Pogba wasn't putting the effort in. I remember watching him very closely because I'm always in battles about Paul Pogba, so I'm watching him closely. Effort levels was 100, just like the whole team, but we weren't functioning. We weren't getting that second goal against Wolves. Then he misses the penalty. Yeah, and then everything explodes from that moment. Then he gets injured because he's actually playing with an injury as well, and then he's been injured all season. So I think with Paul Pogba, there's been so much that surrounds him. Is sometimes we take our eye off what he actually does and the players around him and how they respond to him and the manager. Because whenever you hear Oli talk, Oli has never a bad word to. Now, you can take that with a pinch of salt, but even people in the game, nobody calls Pogba a bad egg or he's this or he's that. You never hear that come out of anybody's mouth from within the game. It's the media, it's what surrounds him that then seeps out.
You see, the stuff you're saying there, Leon, I agree with you. I'm in total agreement with you. And these are the things I've said away from, like open conversations like this. But what I'm still nervous about and what I'm still worried about is this whole flirtation with other clubs. Is this whole sort of his relationship with Mino Raiola. And so, because check it, a lot of this stuff sort of, it's coincidental that he's now decided to behave, because wasn't it not it was the January window or whatever that's just gone past where they were saying that it's going to be hard for him to get a move anyway because of, his value drop, or sorry, coming up to this window, they're saying because he's been out for so long, how many games has he played this season? And it's like they're saying, this whole thing. So it all has to tie in. He's now got to come back, put himself back on the market, get the best performances in so we can get the top dollar for him in the transfer fee, top dollar for his wages in his next move. Because guys are going to say, well, boy, your last season at United, last couple of seasons at United, I don't think you're worth that much. And then United are going to go, well, no, we're not selling him, isn't it?
But this is the case anyway. Even if you want to move away, we can talk about Matic as well. Let's not forget that there's other players in the squad that has been open that they want to leave. We could talk about David De Gea, and Matic was on the way out, and he was playing poorly.
Yeah, he was gone.
He was playing poorly. Then he also turns it around, and then you at the end of the day, if you want to be bought, you want to be putting in your best performances. I don't think no football player goes on the field just doesn't want to perform. Do you know what I'm saying?
Pride kicks in. You don't go on the pitch wanting to have a bad game.
Exactly.
No, you don't. But then I guess at the same time, though, you also when you're playing and you're happy and you're in the team and you know the cause of the team, then you're gonna play as well, aren't you? So I feel like we've talked about, because I mean, when I talk about the hair and all of that type of stuff, I'm going by what he's shown me so far. And you're right, and like I say, I'm in agreement with you. I love what Ollie has done. Like since he's come in, he's chilled all the talk, because I've said, I haven't heard anything. Yeah. And then like you see him in training, you see the work, you see the smiles. So you can only hope it's going in the right direction. He really asked me what I really wanted out of this. It'd be for Pogba to settle down. It'd be for Pogba to say, now, do you know what? Yeah, let's win the league. Like, let's get the team into the Champions League. I want to win the Champions League here before I go to Real Madrid. Follow Ronaldo's footsteps. If he does do that, if he does say that, then yeah, I'm great. But come the transfer window, if he does leave, I'm just going to be sitting there like, told you.
But let me just before we move on, because we're going to have to wrap up soon. But I want to just say this one thing on Paul Pogba, yeah, is he is what, 27 now, yeah? I believe 27.
Yeah.
So like what you said there, I want to win the Champions League here before I go to Real Madrid. As you know, Dan, being a football coach and knowing your wealth within the game, the football game it's short, you know. Yeah, you haven't always got time. So at the age of 27, we have to, if we take the and put yourself in a Paul Pogba shoes, you're a World Cup winner, you're regarded as one of the best midfielders in the world. You don't want to do a Steven Gerrard, and even Steven Gerrard did win the Champions League. But for me as a person, I don't want to look back. Yeah, I don't want to look back at my thing and be like, I not wasted, but I had 5 years here and I did hardly do anything. And
you see when you say that, that's the mentality that I look at Pogba with. Hence why I say that with Ronaldo, because that's what I learned from my relationship with Ronaldo. Because I was still quite young as a footballer, or in the football intelligence world, in the sense of my education wise. So with Ronaldo, I would say I was a United fan back then. So I saw it as we were going to have this guy until he was 40. Like he was going to be another Ryan Giggs. And, then everything starts to come out. You think, right, you really like Real Madrid? Oh, and as I said, the game the Wigan game, and he took off his shirt and threw it, that broke my heart. Like, I don't care. I'm not too proud to say it. That broke my heart. I looked at that guy and I said, you know what? I'm never going to support, right, any sort of superstar that plays for Manchester United again. Because I understand it now. Like, you don't love this club the way I love this club. Like, I would never throw a Manchester United shirt. I wouldn't even... Fergie said, look, thank you for letting me play, boss. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to play next week, but you got the cheek to throw a United shirt. Now, there's people out here that got to pay. How much you pay for that shirt, Leo?
This is an old school one, but this was about £50, I think, £40, £50.
But, bro, you had to go to the shop. You had to go to the shop and buy that. Yeah. They're asking him to put it on. Right? They paid him to put it on.
Yeah,
and he just... Right. So as I said, with Pogba, what did we do? We paid him to come and put on the shirt. And we know what your true intentions are. So that's why you're not talking. That's why when you go on these podcasts and these fan interviews and people ask you, people come up to you, are you leaving? Are you staying? That's why you play that game. I've seen so many players. Sergio Aguero, what did he say? Manchester City. You're talking about, you're even from Manchester. You live in English. Manchester City. Well done. Well done. We need players like that. We need players like that. That's what we're missing out here. I'm telling you.
I don't know, man. I think we can all... That's a fairy tale, man. I think in life, you can have passion for a club, but you still got to look out for yourself, because the club ain't gonna look out for you. I've heard so many stories about the professional game. Clubs are ruthless. Let's not
they don't care, blood.
Yeah, let's not make no mix about it. So
100%. But if we're gonna go on that level, all right, let's take it to that level. Yeah, 100%. So as I've said, if you look at us fans, yeah, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, yeah, even down to Odi and Nagalo. Look at this guy. Yeah, we're going from China. Right, he knows about the club. He knows about this stuff. He said as soon as he heard what wage cut, I don't care. Boom, I'll take it.
Because now, it's a Garlo, though.
So I'm just using that. But let's go Bruno Fernandes then. This guy is, he's sporting Lisbon. He's already made his name. He had a choice. He didn't have to come to us. He could have went anywhere else. But he's come here. He wants that purpose. He wants to play.
Why didn't we get him in the summer, though?
I don't know. But the fact we got him, so
Good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, how I look at it is, the point I'm making is, we want players that are going to come here, that want to build their name here before they move on to things, right? If that's the case, or they want to stay here to the end of their career, isn't it? Because that's how we've built our club's name. When you say that, not stepping stone, bro, well, I'm going to be honest. I had to hold my hands up to this. We are. The next step from us is Real Madrid. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. No player leaves Manchester United and goes onto a bigger stage. That's it. The only biggest stage is Real Madrid. That's it. That's how they see it. So that's my thing. So if you're not getting players that are talking like that and going, oh yeah, I want to play in the Champions League, I want to play against the big, you can see what Pogba's thing is. Madrid couldn't afford him at the time. Paris Saint-Germain couldn't afford him at the time. We could. Right. Who can afford him now? There, have him. He's quality. He's great. But without him, we're winning. We're winning. So what difference does he make?
We're not though. We're gonna have to move on now. We're not.
Yeah, come on, Leon.
We're not. No.
We love him. We love him.
But without Paul Pogba, that's what I'm saying. We have to be real. We are on 40. What is it? 40 something points. Let's be real. Without Paul Pogba this season,
but we're not the only club there, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
I know,
People say that, yeah.
But if we had a Paul Pogba playing this season, where in all of those games where we were struggling to unlock defenses, I think it would have been a totally different story. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think we can get over this. Paul Pogba's not been here and we've been fine. We ain't been fine. We're still fighting to get into top 4, and you don't even believe we'll get into top 4. So it ain't been a great season. You know what I'm saying? So we do need Paul Pogba. Now, don't get me wrong. If Paul Pogba goes and we can invest the money right, like what Liverpool did with the Coutinho money, then okay, that's cool. And for me personally, I'm like, Paul Pogba, I want you to be successful in your career. And if we're not going to do that for you, then move on. You know what I mean? I love Manchester United.
But when you say we need Paul Pogba, what do we need from him?
You mean, what do we need? His performances, his
creativity.
His creativity.
And I reckon we got that from Bruno Fernandes.
Well, we didn't see that against Sheffield United, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, Pogba was the better out of the two, and Pogba was playing deeper. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes isn't. I think Bruno Fernandes is not as good as Paul Pogba. I think that's my thing.
Take a few guys out.
All right. So can I give you? Sorry, go on. Say that again. Sorry.
No, the way Pogba can take players out of the game with a dribble, with a drive, with the ball, I don't think Bruno Fernandes can do. Even though Bruno Fernandes is able to unlock defensive with the willingness to play a hard pass.
I hear that, and what I'm saying is, because please, I'm not saying Pogba's poor. I'm not saying anything like that. What I see, whenever we have Pogba in our team, it reminds me of what Jack Grealish. And then so you everybody's focusing on this guy. And that's why I like what Solskjaer has done in the sense of when Pogba plays, he's just another player. It shouldn't be all about him.
Yeah.
So that's the point I'm trying to make in the sense of if we take him out the team, it shouldn't affect us. I would love for United fans to kind of just take all the gloss of his whole, the Stormzy video and everything. Just take the gloss. We know he's a player. We know he's fantastic. But if he plays, he plays. And we're better. If he doesn't play, he doesn't play. We still want to win. Same
with Bruno Fernandes. If we take Bruno Fernandes out now, we're going to be a less of a team.
Yeah.
We are.
So, he's proved it. I think he's proved it.
Who?
Bruno Fernandes. I think he's proved it. Just the style of play and where he plays
what I'm saying.
How he plays.
If we take Bruno Fernandes out the team, this is what I'm saying. We're a lesser team. This is the point I'm making.
We're not the same
so we need quality. What we need now going forward, if like what Daniel said at the beginning, if we sign a Jadon Sancho, then yes, now we then start to add quality in. Like you say, if Pogba's not in 1 week, then we still function. If Bruno Fernandes ain't in 1 week, we still function. If we take Rashford out 1 week, we still function. That's where we need to get to. And I think, yes, before we only had Paul Pogba. It's not his fault. Do you know what I'm saying? And that might be part of the problem. That when he came, he thought that he wasn't going to be the only one. That we was going to have extras.
Players,
bring him a bit.
Yeah, you get them promises. I know you get the promises. I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have to move on, boy, because we can talk about this all day, boy.
I just want to say before anybody tries to sue me on this, I would love Pogba to stay. Yeah, Pogba Fernandes, 100%. But I'm just saying, I'm just
early already. It's out there.
So
And I'm gonna get sued for that.
couple more questions, man, and then we're gonna wrap up, gents, man. So
Cool.
the last one, and I think we've already established it, man, is are we heading in the right direction? I think we'd all unanimously say yes. But how far do you think we are from title contenders and winning a title? How far, Daniel?
Ooh. I do think, for me, for us to get to that next point of challenging for the title, we need Champions League football. If we was to get Champions League football, then all of a sudden, like I said earlier, players before who would look at Man United and think, I'm not too sure about them, Europa League football, all of a sudden will go, okay, they've got Champions League football. They are going in the right direction. Let me go there now. Like with players like Jadon Sancho, who he's probably looking at Man United thinking, I'm at Dortmund, I'm playing Champions League football, I'm playing regularly quite week in, week out. If Man United get Champions League football, all of a sudden, he comes. And then all of a sudden, players and other players around the league will look at that and think, okay, United are starting to go in the right direction now. So I think we are going in the right direction. Like we said earlier, United. I think now we've got to a point where you kind of know United's best starting 11. But now it's got to a point where, like Daniel said earlier, you want to know your B team. But if you was to get Jadon Sancho, I think slowly you would get to that point, because then saying like the FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, you could say to Daniel James, play on the left. You could say a Garland, play up front. You could say to Greenwood, play up top. And you could say to Rashford, Martial and Sancho, take this week off. We've got a big game on the weekend. So I think we're getting there, man. I do think we're getting there. Like we said, yes, there's a couple of things that we need to fill out. But in terms of where we need to get to and then rebuild, I think we are moving in the right direction. But for us to get to that point, we do need to football.
Okay, wicked. Dan, what do you reckon?
You know what? Hold on. Yeah, I agree with everything Daniel just said there. I really do. I think he's spot on in the sense of that. If we do make the Champions League, it changes the format of the perspectives of the club, doesn't it? And then of course people respect us a bit more. And of course you're in the Champions League, so the players start playing a bit differently. I think as regards to left of time, that is going to show, because then again, we make the Champions League, but then that's where Oli then comes under scrutiny in the sense of who does he bring in? Like he has to bring in that player that's going to be, the X factor. As you say, going to build a team, you need those two sets of teams that are going to be good enough to carry you through the season. Because I check it, he can have two teams, but we still be looking at those two teams in 2 years from now and going, it's not good enough. So yeah, I agree with Daniel. He does. He needs the Champions League to then get a wider perspective, a wider selection of player, higher selection of player, and then we can see where it goes from there.
Wicked. I agree with both of you as well, man. And I think we get Champions League football, we get Jadon Sancho, and I think that one signing increases our level, because then we got strength in depth. So like we're saying, we can bring on a Mason Greenwood, because Greenwood could even operate from the left. We've got Daniel James to come in, or down the middle. Exactly. We can bring on Daniel James last 60 minutes in a game that we're chasing or whatever, where we're going for it, to start running at tired legs and stuff like that last 70 minutes. And then things start to change, and then you start to say, we're looking at the B team, this player here that we can bring in, a Van der Beek we could bring in, or a CDM we can bring in. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Or even do it like what Fergie did and just get a couple of the, you got some of the young prospects across the Premier League. Like look at them two brothers at Newcastle, them centre mids.
Nah, I'm not feeling the long stars, but I know what you mean.
No, but I'm saying you bring them in and then they play in the reserves and them kind of ones that. I'm saying I'm only using them as just an example.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's a good scatter around the country. You get a couple of them ones.
And that's what we used to do: get the Prem ready players that know the system and everything. So
because they get you the points at the Watfords and the difficult games. They go down there and scrap it out with them guys.
Yeah. Them away games, Monday night. Raining.
Yeah. And then save your luxury players. You go down to Barcelona in the Champions League and let them play them.
Yeah, man. I hear that, man. So anyway, some last questions, boys. Just a little bit of fun. Who's your favorite ever, or your favorite United defender of all time? Daniel.
For me, it's Rio.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think I'm old enough to have watched players like Jaap Stam, Steve Bruce, Irwin, players like that. But
Yeah.
for me, I like Rio, man. He just played with this swagger, this arrogance.
Yeah.
Everyone raves about Van Dijk, saying, "Oh, look how he plays out from the back." Rio's been doing this, bro. Like everyone says, Van Dijk, last 2 seasons, best Premier League centre back. My G, Rio's been doing this for 8 to 10 plus years, man.
Yeah.
Rio, man. He just had this arrogance and this swagger about him as well.
Rio's a Rolls Royce of a defender. That's
Rolls
what I call
Royce.
him.
That's
Yeah,
what
man.
this guy is, the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, he was a Rolls Royce defender. Who's your best defender?
I'm gonna go with pure emotion. Like I know, and I can see why everybody's gonna choose Rio, and no doubt if you're gonna go for the all-round defender, then yes, Rio is the man. But emotionally, my best defender has to be Yapstam. Yapstam was colossal. Mate. He was absolutely colossal. And that season, we did the treble, and I remember that was my last year in secondary school. In fact, I just remember that season. I was like, mate, no one could touch this guy. He was colossal. He had a mean face, crazy. Like man, that's what we needed at the time.
Yeah, and again, no one can't be mad at you for saying Yapstam, boy. Yapstam was
on emotion, an emotion
was a real G. He was a real G. I'm gonna go with Rio as well. Rio's my favorite defender at Man United of all time, but I'll give an honorary mention as well to Patrice Evra. I think he's a slightly underrated.
There's so many though.
I think he's underrated man, for what he actually done at United.
Can I fire back? Just a quick quiz question. Do you guys remember Willie Prunier?
No, I don't remember.
Google that then. In your own time, any United fans watching this, Google Willie Prunier. You're all going to laugh.
No, I don't remember that name, boy.
Right. Manchester United defender, by the way.
I'm gonna have to check that out. If we was to move into midfield, who's your best midfielder? This is gonna be a hard one. Does Ronaldo go into midfield or is he an attacker?
Now, Ronaldo's an attacker. Ronaldo has to be an attacker. I've never seen this guy drop back into midfield to do anything.
All right. So then, who's your best midfielder of all time?
You asking me?
Whichever one, if you want to go first.
My favorite and the player that I've always enjoyed watching, I still enjoy watching to this day, Michael Carrick. And I know it sounds crazy, but since then, I'm a centre midfielder myself, and I just feel like this guy is so underrated. He is world class. He should have played for England more than he ever did. Steven Gerrard and Lampard should have just got put. You see how they played Fernandes and Pogba, yeah? And just put Carrick right there. That would have just solved the whole problem. But, who knows? I don't know anything. That's why I'm not the England boss, innit?
Yeah, I don't think United fans are going to get onto you for saying that, bro. I was having a conversation about this in the United group I'm in, and Michael Carrick is probably the most underrated footballer in the history of Premier League football.
That's 100%.
Yeah, man. What would you go with, or who would you go with? Sorry, Daniel.
I'd say Carrick's a very close second, but for me, Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Paul Scholes. The way you could just spray a pass, his shooting from distance, the way he would just control the tempo of the game, similar to the way Carrick did. But for me,
Carrick learned from him, I would say. I'd say Carrick learned to control the game. Carrick had a great range of passing, but he learned from Scholes how to control the game.
Yeah.
To put Carrick or Scholes in our CDM position, or all of us our midfield, different gravy. So for me, Paul Scholes.
Yep. So I'm going with Paul Scholes as well. I'm going with Paul Scholes.
I told you, no controversial,
No, but that's not even controversial though, because on a real, Carrick is a real G, but Paul Scholes is one of my all-time favorite footballers, man. Just watching him and the way he controlled, and you just hear about the way professionals talk about him. He was different class.
I'm happy he's a part of the coaching staff as well, because I just think that helped our midfield so much when you've got somebody like that with the experience and the knowledge. So it's going to be great for us. It's going to be great.
So here's another fun one then, actually, because who's got the better range of passing then, Paul Scholes or Paul Pogba?
Oh, that's not even a question.
You don't think? Think about we're not talking about Paul Pogba with his hair or anything. We're just talking about pure ability.
No. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna go for Paul Scholes. I'm gonna go for Paul Scholes.
Okay.
I thought Pogba's got the ability and the skills and everything else to add to it, so he gets himself out of trouble.
No,
I
I'm
think
talking
Paul's
about
goals just makes
pure
it.
passing. I'm talking about
Yeah, I
passing
get that.
ability.
I get that.
No
I'm
skills.
saying Paul's goals makes everything look. He makes everything look easy. You don't see him do any kind of. So that's why I have to give him goals because he just
Okay.
gets
Remember?
the goal.
Do you remember that little friendly they had? I think it was last year.
Yeah. It was the Man City. He was playing. It was the Man City Man United game. It was like an over.
Was it David Beckham's thing?
No, it wasn't David Beckham's, but
It was at the Etihad.
yeah, Gary Neville played and
Okay,
I think Solskjaer scored as well.
I just thought, what the hell? He has his back turned.
And he
kicks
just does
it
that dink.
and then he sets the guy through, man. No,
Yeah.
Is that Scholes here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scholes.
Yeah, you
Scholes,
see? Yeah.
Scholes did a dirty thing there.
The volley, long pass, long shot. Yeah, Scholes.
Yeah, I've not made my mind up on this one. I have to be honest.
So I said, is that a question?
Yeah, I've not made my mind up on that one.
That's not a question.
Scholes, man.
All right then, wicked. Rooney, overrated or United legend?
No, I thought you was going to ask us who our favourite forward is. That's what I was thinking. What you read my mind?
We ain't finished yet.
Oh, we ain't finished yet. Okay, because that's the answer to my question. That's the guy right there.
Rooney, yeah.
Wazza, that's the guy right there.
See, all right, wicked. Daniel,
A bit overrated for me, man. I'll tell you.
look at this.
I'll tell you what. If you play 600 games for Man United up front, week in, week out, I expect 300 goals. The guy got 250.
He didn't play up front week in and week out, though.
Thank you, Leon. That's all right. Go ahead.
I lied. I'm chatting rubbish. I'm trying to be like my man. I'm trying to be I tried. It didn't work.
No, with the Rooney thing, I think is when you deep down into how we played as a team and what Rooney had to do.
Sacrificed himself quite a bit.
He wasn't that striker playing week in and week out like.
I don't know if I'm wrong on this, but I think assist-wise, he's got like 150 plus as well. So
yeah, he's got the second most assists in the Premier League history.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So we've got
played the entire career at Manchester United. So
yeah. So who you going for then, Daniel? Who's your favourite striker?
Forward or striker?
Same thing, man. Don't try and change up this. Don't try and striker, forward. You can only have one.
Over this Ronaldo thing. Whatever, man.
You
can only have one.
No, if we're talking striker, Rudy. If we're talking striker, it's Wayne Rooney by I don't think it's even close. Some of the goals he would score, the volley against Newcastle, where he's just like, oh, forget this, I'm just banging this.
Right. And you know what happened before he hit the volley, right?
Yeah, he was arguing with the ref.
Yeah, he got fouled, and the referee didn't give him the free kick, and he was annoyed.
He was vexed, and he was about to be subbed as well.
Yeah, he was annoyed. He was annoyed, and he just blasted it in.
Man.
He didn't move. You know, if you watch that again, he didn't move from the spot. It's not like he ran and then got back. He didn't move. The ball just fell to him.
Yeah,
that was it. So let's say no more about that.
I'll go with Wazza as well because I would love to have said Ronaldo. Ronaldo's one of my favorite players of all time as well.
One game then.
But the thing with Wazza, he done it for a long period of time, and he gave so much for the team. It wasn't just about goals; it was about everything else he brought. And technically, he was just different gravy, man. Like some of his goals, like you say. So yeah, I'll go Wazza, but also honorary mention to Ruud van Nistelrooy as well.
Oh, you know, because that I was gonna say. If it's not Rooney, then Ruud van Nistelrooy has to be the man for me.
That goal against Fulham where he just goes on a run.
Yeah.
I think it's Fulham.
Yeah, it was Fulham. Yeah,
it was Fulham. He took it on the halfway line.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, going back to Rooney, I think one of the biggest things where I decided that this guy was the man for me is you're right. When we did have that Tevez, Ronaldo, Rooney situation there, he sacrificed so much of his game to just say, all right, then do you know what? Yeah. I'll be the man out here wide. Yeah. I'll be the man out to play the second fiddle. I'll drop back and do all of that stuff. I'll play centre midfield when we don't have a centre midfielder. So you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's it there. And last one then, boy. Who's going to score more goals this season, Rashford or Martial?
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. I think on form, I'm gonna call it quickie, Martial.
Yeah.
Martial, based on the way they played against Sheffield United, he's got another
What
10
solid
more in
start.
him, I think.
Rashford looks like he still needs to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm going Martial as well. And I'm saying Martial because now we've got players that can feed him and we're going to create chances. And that's why I'm going to go Martial, boy. I think he's going to have a lot more chances now with Pogba and Bruno behind him. And yeah, man, I'm going Martial as well. So we're all unanimous on that one.
Yeah.
All right, then. But boys, that is the end, man. You know, I'm gonna have to cut this up into 2 parts because we've been chatting
Sorry,
a
man.
long time.
I've just seen the time, like,
But you
Bro,
know
when it comes
what?
to United, I could do it all day long, man.
all day in it.
Trust me, man, and love for coming on, man. I really appreciate both of you taking the time out to come on the show. I hope
thank you
you've
for having
enjoyed
me
it
on.
as well. For the viewers and the listeners, please just let the people know where they can find you. So, Daniel, let them know where they can find you, please.
Pretty much Daniel Ogun on pretty much everything. I'm Daniel Ogun 7 on Instagram and pretty much Daniel Ogun on everything else.
Okay, and I'm gonna put his link in the description, and it will be up on the screen as well for the people that are looking on the visual. Dan, where can they find you and what?
They can find me at playerideacademy.com. That will be on the Instagram, or you can go to the website, Player ID Academy, and just have a look. And then you can email us. All the contacts and details and stuff there are there. So yeah,
Wicked.
that's where you find me.
And I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna put all of the details in the description so anybody can go and find you lot. And again, man, as I said, I really appreciate you lot coming on, people. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it and you haven't already, give us a like on the YouTube. Share about with your friends, your family, and your WhatsApp groups. This is gonna be on all of the audiobles as well, like your Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. So yeah, man, keep it moving. This was Manchester United Fan Views. I'm Semps, and these are the 2 Daniels, and we're out, people. Bless.